Hey, everybody. What'd you think of the episode? I watched it earlier today. It's a very good episode. And isn't the show a testament that opening titles should stay in every show? They have the best opening titles ever. I love it. So we're going to talk to the cast and ask them lots of questions. And you guys will get a chance to ask some questions. So let's start bringing them out. Joel McKinnon Miller. Dirk Blocker. Melissa Fumero. Stephanie Beatriz. Joe Truglio. Chelsea Peretti. Andy Samberg. Terry Crews. Oh, actually, this is Andre Braugher. There we got Terry Crews. Now, Terry, which of your 10 jobs were you coming from to get here on time?
I actually did another show this morning, and I'm kidding. The show called Traffic. It's a brand new show.
Every day.
It's a like 3-4 hour long traffic. This show is a mini series. Let me tell you.
Well, thanks for everybody for being here. I want to ask you, I guess, Andy, you'd be the one to ask this. Just tell me about the origins of the show again. Mike and Dan, I don't know if they developed it with you in mind or when you came into the picture, and can you just go through that real quick?
Sure. They had the pitch for a police precinct comedy, and they called me and told me that that was pretty much the pitch. And I was a huge fan of Parks and Rec, obviously, and I, had known that Amy had done it pretty similarly, where they were like, hey, it's a Parks and Recreation office, and you would be in it. And she was like, okay. And that worked out. So I said, okay, sounds great. And they told Fox, I believe, and Fox was like, okay. And then then they wrote it, and then everyone was like, good, it's good. And then we shot it.
This is how Hollywood
the story
works.
is that easy because they had already made an awesome show and worked in a million other great shows, and that's the awesome, easy street road they got to walk down.
Well, I have to say, being a fan from the beginning, it's one of those few shows that just seems so solid right from the start. And I'm curious if you all felt the same way. Did you guys all kind of gel right from the start as a cast? If anybody wants to talk about that?
Yes. We talk about it constantly, you guys. Why are you clamming up now? We're always on set going, I can't believe how much we love each other. It was like the first day we were a family.
Right.
Anybody?
Chelsea, give me your take on everybody starting out in the beginning of the show.
Well, I feel like we just proved we don't have good chemistry. So I don't know. It's hard to talk our way out of it. No, we love each other. We do like family style lunches, pastas.
Not true. So many tapas.
Sush. Always.
Sush, tapas.
I'm gonna say it. We really are a family. I know family. I got 5 kids, and
Brag.
one thing I know when I leave my real family and come over here, it's just the same feeling. It feels like we've been working together for the last 10 years. I swear, it's really a wonderful experience every day. And
Can I borrow some money?
we do. That's
We're
family. That's what
family.
it's about. That's family. You know what? Hold on. There you
Please
go.
let this
I got
bitch
you. There
hold
you
out.
are. There you go. That's family.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
what family does.
That was like,
It's the best joke we've ever done.
yeah. That was a bundle of 20s.
That's family. That's what family.
Yeah.
You don't expect it back. It's
The
not coming
Warbucks family. It's from a musical called Annie, Andre. Yeah.
Well, if this is a family, is it safe to say that Terry's the dad because he's getting hit up for money, or is there a parental kind of?
back. This is the man.
Yeah.
Andre.
Hi, everyone. I have nothing to say, thank you.
Just like Dad.
Total dad move.
So Dad.
Pops.
Daddy!
That's Pops.
Is there a mom or somebody that's just super nurturing that takes care of everybody?
I guess that would be me.
Yes, that's definitely her.
Joe, you're the mom, right?
Kind of. Yeah. I look good in dress. I like food. I cook. I'm emotional.
Sush. Tapa.
Ish.
Tell me of the cast, because you guys obviously are having a good time together. Who's the easiest one to make laugh, and who's the toughest to make laugh when you guys are working?
Well, it used to be.
No, but that's all right. You can hear me. It used to be Andre never used to laugh in the first season, and then broke a couple times, and then midway through this season, he realized that he had already laughed as many times as he did the whole first season. And I remember you were a little concerned about that.
I have no more room for breaking up.
That's
So
it.
I hit 8 last season, and now I'm at 8.
You're at 8.
So I'm holding off, on loving you guys for 7 more episodes.
Laughs.
Yeah.
Melissa laughs a little bit.
Yeah, I would say it's. Oh, I would say it's me. I feel like I break the most out of everyone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really brought the room down.
I know.
I will say, though, that the hardest I've ever laughed was when Andre in this beach house episode was supposed to be boring. It was, I couldn't do it. And I feel like a lot of people had that experience. Like, he was saying the most boring things, and it's like when you're trying to look bored, and it is so boring. At some reason, when someone's I don't know, it was like...
That was and his name was Blair Underwood. The man I saw in the supermarket was Blair Underwood. And everyone's just like, oh!
I want to ask about the beach house episode a little bit. Is that the first time you guys have all worked together in a hot tub? I thought it was.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Tell me about the hot tub.
Oh, man.
we hated it so
It
much.
was a bad hot tub.
Bad hot tub.
Okay. How was it bad, Andre?
Well, I mean, I have experience with hot tubs, cleaning out hot tubs. So what happens is this is a very clean story, I assure you.
Like your own hot tub?
Well, yeah, the thing about it is when they sit there, right, and you go and you scrub out the interior of the jacuzzi,
You could take this too if you want.
inside the pipes, the tube. And I rarely control the microphone, you guys. Wow, I'm actually going to follow through on this. So inside the tubing of the jacuzzi is all the stuff that was left over. So you scrub out the jacuzzi and you fill it up with warm water. It's good. I'm still going to finish this.
Talk about the grass!
So very much like crafting a roll, cleaning out a jacuzzi is an intricate and intimate exploration of pipes.
Oh shit, that was amazing. Well, tell me about everybody basically getting, shirtless or in your bathing suits and that, and working together. I'm sure that didn't happen quickly. It probably took a while to shoot, right?
The water had Giardia in it. They tested it later and found out. That was one thing. But
Yeah. I wish I wasn't in the hot tub. I mean, I wasn't in the hot tub, so I missed out.
Joe and I.
Yeah.
Joe and
Yeah,
I
where were
were
we?
in the hot tub. We were down at the beach together.
That's right. Sunning. Kind of in our Speedos, frolicking in the sand.
Yeah. It didn't. They never showed it.
No.
No.
Dirk, what'd you think of the hot tub?
Oh, I have two mics, and I have a bottle of water. No, it doesn't work that way. Hot tub was well, they pretty much said it. It was challenging. You know, it wasn't as much fun as it may have looked. But I think we all established that none of us would probably go into somebody else's hot tub if we didn't have to. But it was a bonding experience. It was a bonding experience.
That's what family does.
That's right.
Let
Bond
it
in
go.
tepid water.
Okay, well, answer me this: who is the most like their character? Who is the least like their character?
Oh, least like is Stephanie, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Do you agree with that, Stephanie?
Yes, I agree. I wholeheartedly endorse that statement. Yes, I'm very, very different than Rosa. Very different. Very different.
So who is the most like their character?
Yeah, I think I am. I'm gonna put it out there. I think I'm a lot like Terry Jeffords because my name is Terry.
Right.
His
Right.
name is Terry.
Yeah. Talk
And
more
he's-
about that.
He's very strong, and I'm very strong. And I loved everyone in the precinct, and I really do love everyone in the precinct. So, they really based the character on me, and it was written with me in mind in every step of the way. It was, Dan Goor, Mike Schur just said, "This is you. We're creating this around you," and it was the first time I ever had anything like that happen in my whole career. I've been acting over 15 years. And to have a character that was just based on me. I mean, they were literally, I have a white minivan, and they put the minivan in the show, So it's just crazy. So it was an awesome experience.
That's great. I actually want to ask a little bit about that because, you work out. We can see that. Yeah, see, there we go. There we go. Well,
Don't make me get shirtless, man. I'm telling you, I will do it. I'll do it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a lot of buttons, but I got time.
No, yes, definitely do it. Terry, yes. Definitely disrobe here at SAG.
Do it, Terry.
That's why we all came.
I couldn't wait for the hot tub. I wanted to show up. I'm an exhibitionist.
Trust exercise. Trust exercise.
Well, in the Payback episode, Jake and Terry work out together, and I'm curious, in real life, have any of you ever actually worked out with Terry?
Have any of us worked out?
I didn't really work out with him. I watched him.
He was there. We were there together. That's very true.
Yeah, that's true.
We were there.
I was pedaling on a
Terry?
stationary bike, and you're lifting 400 pounds.
Well, let me go through some of the storylines. Just first of all, Dirk and Joel, I want to ask: is there anything they've had you guys say or do on the show that you just couldn't believe you were going to have to say or do, or because it's pretty crazy, but it's great stuff.
No. I think kind of the joy of what all of us do is the the willingness to go with it and the writing is just so good that it's not like you have to spend a whole lot of time figuring out how am I going to make this work. I mean, we've all done shows that we had to do that, and luckily on this show we have such good writers. And if it's not absolutely perfect, they're on the set, or Andy's out there giving us other things to say and do. So no, I mean, yes, they give us very bizarre ideas to put to action, but it's just a blast.
I think every script is like a little present. So we're all excited to do the read, to look it over quickly before we do our read-throughs. And it's always a treat. Everybody's always looking forward to seeing what they're going to come up with next. So, yeah,
Okay.
a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, one of the big romances this season has been, of course, Jake and Eva Longoria's character, which we saw kind of maybe come to an end in this episode that we just watched?
It's shocking.
Can you talk, first of all, just about, I mean, you guys have a lot of guest stars on the show now, especially this season, and they seem to be woven in very well. The writers really know what they're doing. But talk about having Eva on the show, and also just what's coming next for Jake as far as the romance department.
Eva was great, consummate professional. Quote me on it. It was really fun. It was fun working with her. You know, we've had really, really good guests. It's been crazy. Pretty much out of the gate. You know, I think, again, that's Mike and Dan and the cachet that they come with, if that's how you phrase that. But yeah, it was fun, really fun working with her, and it was a good dynamic for Jake, I think, to have somebody who is smarter than him and challenges him and stuff. I'm being pretty articulate, I think, right now.
Oh boy.
And just lose all steam in that moment. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. We're family, etc. Yeah, future. We don't really know. We're actually not that far ahead at this point. You know, there's not a ton of episodes left, so hopefully just tons of boning.
Well, because some would wonder if maybe the Jake and Amy thing would get revisited just because it's been kind of quiet for a while. Yes. Any thoughts or wants or desires?
We also are interested to know the answer to that question. Yeah.
I kind of like how they both acknowledge it, though, now. That both characters just kind of acknowledge that they like each other, and it's kind of out in the open. Terry, help, Dad. Dad, dying.
Shirt off now. Top buttons. That was.
Why stop at the shirt? Slip out of the skivvies. Slip out of the skivvies.
Andre, talk a little bit about working with Kira Sedgwick, who we saw again in this episode. And, I think like you, a lot of people assume you're all dramatic, like I think with Kira, and I know you're not. And Kira obviously knows her comedy. Can you talk about working with her in these episodes?
She too is a consummate professional. Thanks. You can quote me on it. She's a closer. I mean, she's always been a really.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. So.
But know that's a thing, right?
I do, and I know that Annie is a thing too. I think there's a movie out about it. Okay. So she's really good. She's a lot of fun to work with, and I've admired her from afar for many years, and I got a chance to work with her, and that's terrific. That's it.
Was it the same way that Joel admired Terry at the gym?
Yes, I stand to say. I don't know exactly how he admired her, but I will say that she's very good at what she does, and we had a really fun time playing goofball characters who resembled each other in a certain way. In the same way, it mirrors a relationship that Eva and Jake have, is that they're both goofy in the same way. Like they like their hot wings, or the dolls freak them out, or something to that effect. They seem to be simpatico, even though they're on opposite sides of the law. And even though even though Wunsch and Holt seem to be adversaries, they share all these similar characteristics, this robotic kind of professionalism. And so it was really a lot of fun watching that, the edges come off of these characters who are very tightly wound. So.
Okay. All right. And Stephanie, you've got a little romance happening on the show right now.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Nick Cannon.
Yes. Nick Cannon, who used to be married to Mariah Carey.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
Can you talk about where that storyline might be going? And
Yeah, I think what's going to happen, what seems to be happening in the episodes now, is that the writers are continuing to explore Rosa's sort of inability to have any emotions or connection with other people, which I think is really exciting. It's really fun to watch somebody that's so, really down at the very base of it, I would say she's really socially inept, and she's just found this really amazing way to cover that. So introducing a romantic relationship is like putting her in such a vulnerable place, because she wants something that she she doesn't have control over whether or not she gets it, right? Like, you don't have control over another human being. So I'm just fascinated by her sort of like, kind of, it makes me feel, as the actress, I immediately go back to being like 13 and really wanting a boy to notice me or like me in the same way. So it's very fun to play have that feeling happening in that sort of beastly shell, you know. I'm enjoying it. I think it's going to continue to develop, I hope. The episode that we're shooting this week, he's going to be guest starring in it, so you will see him again.
While it's unlikely that she's getting advice from Charles, he does sometimes
Oh my
come
God,
through with
yeah.
some advice. Yeah.
He's the best at it.
Every
actually,
now
for
and
her.
then, Boyle can throw something out there. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's somewhat wise and decent and not inappropriate.
Yeah, especially for Rosa, though. It seems like they I don't know.
Well, I feel that if there's going to be any chance of Rosa and Charles, and we don't know if there will be, I think the first thing that needed to happen is that they needed to be on some type of equal footing, and he couldn't be so much of a lapdog. And so we'll see. But I think it's been nice to see have that relationship, turn into more of a mutual friendship for sure.
Okay. We'll talk about Charles with Gina, which was kind of a surprise at the end of last season. But there's actually.
Clapping.
I found another mic.
But I personally really like it. What does everybody think about Charles and Gina?
Should we take our shirts off?
Yeah. Yeah. Why stop there?
Slip out the skivvies. Step 'em out.
This is like a Groundhog Day of panels. We're just redo all the jokes over and over.
It's called a callback, Chelsea.
Oh, right.
How do you feel about it?
I think it's good. I created a whole story around, because you don't see sometimes the tenderness between them. It's sort of off camera, you have to assume. So I don't know, I feel like what I've drawn from my past, and I've decided that Charles probably cooks really good food for me.
I agree.
And so that can be enough sometimes,
Well, it is true because
He gets it. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the weight of your heart,
Well, it is true. I mean, she slaps him around, and she talks how his hands are clammy and like how he's weird. He backs up into her. That's not a turn on. And then it's like, what does he do? And I think food is got to be in the mix.
And I think also probably we're like very goofy together, when no one's around.
Yeah.
And, I think but, look, I'm not arguing that we should be together. I'm just, explaining what I think went down.
Yeah. They're probably great dancers. They probably like to dance, like weird dances.
I don't know if Charles would be, but,
Like, not a great dancer. Charles is not a great dancer, but he could,
He probably took like tango or salsa. Like, I feel like Charles would have
Yeah.
a very specific dance school that he
Yeah.
had gone
Yeah.
to.
He would, and he'd practice it on, like, ice to get better, just in, like... They think that would be better. You're doing tango on ice. I'd be really good.
Yeah, and that's like your date proposal, and I'm like, can we just like watch TV?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Melissa, I want to ask you something. The beach house episode, you got to play drunk.
Yeah.
Different levels of drunkenness.
Which is terrifying for any actor to receive a script and be like, I'm drunk this entire episode. Awesome. Really excited. / terrified.
But let me ask you the actorly challenge in that and how you did it. You pulled it off very well, I thought.
Oh, shit, sorry. Sorry for cursing. Thanks. It was, I read it and I was super nervous about it and did a lot of like thinking on it like actors do. But also just knew that I was going to be, especially when you're playing with this cast, you can also just trust the fact that like great things are going to happen, funny things are going to happen because everybody's really there for you. And especially I mostly working with Chelsea for that episode, I was like, I'm not going to overthink it because she's going to throw amazing things at me and I'm just going to try not to mess them up. But yeah, it was a super fun, and we were up in Malibu shooting the episode, and it was, I don't know, I just kind of like went for it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm answering this question very well.
All right, that's it.
I'm nailing this panel.
It is. And lastly, Terry's it's been revealed that Terry is going to be a father again on the show. Can you talk about what we'll see moving forward? Is that going to kind of unhinge him a little bit more, or are we going to see that play into things?
I don't know, and that's the best thing about it. Every time we see a script, we have no idea what's going to happen. I remember reading this, and I was like, wow, he's having another child. It could basically send him all the way back. That's the first thought I had. I thought he's finally got over it. He's secure with his twins, doing good, and now here's another little one. Oh, the vulnerability, And I have to say it reminded me of even when I was playing in NFL, because I had two little ones at the time, and I remember I played in a game where a guy broke his neck and he never walked again. Not to be a downer, guys, please. Not to be a downer, but
Not to be a downer?
yeah, let's bring it back up. No, but I was thinking like, man, I remember being on the plane on the way home, like, oh my God, this is for keeps. Like, this, my kids could really not see me walk, And I can understand what Terry is going through all the time, because let me tell you, police work is no joke. And now he's back out there, but now he's the antelope. He's the ebony antelope. He's thinking. He was the falcon, now he's the antelope. So hopefully, he doesn't go too far back in.
Andre, are we seeing Holt's significant other again anytime soon?
My husband, yes?
Yes. Your husband?
Yeah, yes. You see him in this.
I don't know why it's a significant other.
The episode that I was just wondering if you knew something I didn't. Yes, my husband will be in this episode, as a matter of fact, and we have an impromptu reaffirmation of our wedding vows. Yes.
And who prompted that to happen? Is it your character or?
I was moved.
That's all you can say. Okay, I understand that. We do have some questions here. I forgot to say at the top of the panel here that the cast is nominated for Best Ensemble at the SAG Awards. Congratulations. And I think we can all see that they should win just based on this. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
She gets it. She gets it.
Now we're going to argue like a family after this is over.
So we do have some questions here from the group here. Ruben, where's Ruben? Ruben right there? Ruben wants to know for anybody that wants to answer, what was the audition process for each of you? Any interesting or funny audition stories when you first auditioned for the show?
Well, I didn't have to audition. There's a little show called Saturday Night Live. Been around for a couple of years. Anyhow. No, but I did do chemistry reads with a lot of those who we see before us, and it was really fun. And that was the first time I've ever done that, like from either side, where it's like, it was really cool to not be terrified the whole time. But I also was like hyper aware, having been on the other side of it, of like trying to make people feel comfortable as much as I possibly could, and be like, because what they were looking for was hopefully like this kind of vibe of like everybody, like they want it to be the squad. They all got each other's back, and it's loose and it's fun, and it was really cool how, because so many really talented people came in. Allison Jones did the casting, and she's like a genius with comedy casting especially. And it was cool how the characters kind of just were revealed to us. I mean, Mike and Dan even more, but I was a part of that conversation a little. And it was like people I knew from comedy would come in, and I was like, that's the funniest person. There's no way they're not going to be in the show somehow. We're going to make it work. And then, people just won the parts. It just made sense. You just saw it, and it was there, and it was like, oh no, that's Charles, like, no doubt about it. It was fascinating for me to see it from that perspective. I don't know if it was just awful for you guys.
It wasn't
Horrible.
awful. Oh. You go first.
I was completely stressed out. Are you kidding me? This is the biggest thing that had ever happened to me ever in my life. Ever. And then they were like, so you're going to screen test. And I was like, holy shit. And at your screen test, you're just going to do a little bit of improv with Andy. And I was like, Andy Samberg? Andy? And they were like, yeah, you're just going to improv with him a little bit. I'm like, cool. No doubt. And I had two sort of tests because I was also reading for the Amy role, which is clearly not, And so like that was really actually very lucky for me because I was able to go in and do it once. Like basically I had like a run through audition for the Amy role and then I got to come back and do the Rosa. And so by that point I had a little baby leg up because I was a little more comfortable. I had already met Andy, and that improv was really fun, but extremely just like flop sweat
Nope.
completely.
Didn't show. You were a
Good.
pro.
Thanks,
You nailed
buddy.
it.
Thanks, buddy.
Stuck the landing, kid.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Home run.
Stephanie is pretty fearless in the audition. I auditioned with Stephanie once and walked in, and there she was. She was just sitting there like, hi, I'm Joe. She's like, hi, I'm Stephanie. And then, so it was a great start, No, but like Stephanie really kind of just like went for it, and just it was like in my face, and it as Rosa would during the scene. And then when I auditioned with Andy, it was nice because I had known Andy for a little bit, and then we just had a really good improv. And I remember just one thing where we're in a car, and I'm talking about a kid on a skateboard that hit me with a skateboard, and I didn't want to arrest him. And it turned. He kept hitting me, but I'm just like, he's a good kid though. And like it started, and like I got him a hot dog, and like you got him a hot dog. What? So that was kind of a fun little moment.
Yeah, it was already there.
You remember that?
It was there.
It was there.
The vibe.
Yeah.
The Jacob Charles.
Oh, I thought you said like I was already there. I was there. I know what you're talking about.
Oh no.
That's what that.
That would have been
I'm like,
way
wow,
funnier.
man, came right back at me. Like,
Yeah.
all right, man.
Yeah, Joe, I know, man.
I had the other
I
part
was
of the
fucking
scene.
there.
Ruben also want to know, Andy, any plans to sneak Lonely Island in for cameos?
Well, Keeve and Yorm have both directed episodes, so that I think counts. I don't know. We're trying to work on a movie right now, so it's the schedule is packed, but hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, guys.
All right, I've got a question from Jeff Taub. Where's Jeff? Hey, Jeff. For anybody who wants to answer, and Stephanie brought up improv. Is there improv when you guys are working? Is it pretty tight to the script, or can you guys go loose a little bit?
Anyone?
I stick to the script.
I do as well.
Not always.
That's true. No,
Andre will throw a like crazy out of left field improv at you at the end of a scene and just destroy the crew.
Wasn't Dan an improv?
Hot damn.
Hot damn was an improv.
Yeah. I don't know. The script is really wonderful, so I just stick with it. What can I say? What can I say?
How about the rest of you? Is there somebody that just gets off on improving more than the others?
Yeah.
These three right here.
Well, I had this reputation as the button man. Button McGee.
Can't let the scene end.
I mean, I have a scene sometimes I can't just let the moment sit. I just gotta like put a button on it. Like just have another line, just one more comment.
It's so
It's a lesson
funny
that I need to
every
learn.
time he does it. Because you like always add stuff at the end of scenes. That's where you like sneak in some weird extra joke. And a lot of them do get in. But Joe, you feel that moment like in your mind, editing wise, of like, and that's the scene. And then Joe says one more thing. And you're just like, no!
And they'll come up sometimes, and I know what they're gonna say. So like they'll come up and I'll be like, no button McGee. Okay. No button McGee.
It's not even that they're not good jokes. It's just
No,
the
you just-
scene clearly has ended.
You need a clean act break.
Yeah.
That's you go out.
Be like, then we're gonna go and get them. And also,
Yeah,
you're like,
I'll tell you what. So let's head out. Head out, we will. You don't need it. You don't need it.
You know, Andre and I, we worked a little improv, but it was without speaking. We had our eyebrow moves today. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, yes.
We were the dual eyebrows. It was down, and then it was up, and then it was down. We were like, wow, that was improv. It was really good.
And that too won't make it into the.
And it won't make it into it at all.
We got, Ahmad Dugas. Hey, there's Ahmad. Question for Terry. You always seem really positive and full of positive energy. What do you do to keep your spirit bright in an industry that can be tough to break in?
Wow, you know, again, I always consider myself, I am an incurable optimist. I always see the good. I love to see the good in people, and I see the good in events. I see the good in things. And if you knew where I came from, you'd understand. Again, I know I have so many friends that are not here, that are in jail, that are gone, that are living way less than they ever thought they would. And to be here, to be doing what I'm doing, I mean, I wake up every day and I'm just like, my God, I can't believe this. I'm super, super thankful. And it just gets better. I don't know what to say. I mean, I can't look at this thing. I can't see anything negative about it. Anything that's even hard about it makes you better. You know, that's what the thing is. It's kind of like when it's really, really challenging, you find out you can do it. And I want to tell that I'm not any different than anybody in this room. I don't know if you're actors or in the business or whatnot, but it's one of those things where you find out that it is a skill. You know, it's not you have it or you don't, because that's a lie. I've learned that was a lie. I had people tell me that a lot of times. Well, you either have it or you don't, whatever. And that's a way of excluding you. But if you work on it and you just keep going and you never stop, you will get there. Your desire will get you there, and it makes you happy. That's the best thing. And I'm that guy. So, you know, I'm the guy who's in there. I annoy my wife big time. She will be like, God, will you please? All right, it's raining. I'm like, I know, but the flowers are growing. Because you need the rain. She's like, shut the hell up. But I can't help it. It's the way I am. You know, but you don't want me, you don't like me if I'm angry. You really would not like to see me angry. So I have to be happy. There we go.
So,
Wait. Is Terry the Hulk?
That's exactly what I
I feel like you
thought.
like stuck that in. And by the way, I'm the Hulk. All right. Stay positive.
Look at the flowers. Stay positive.
Well, Terry, in your opinion, how's this going tonight? In your opinion?
Oh, this is awesome. See? Oh, this is awesome. It's always wonderful. I'm a little hungry, but it's okay. It's making me better.
Well, and obviously they do write in a lot of that with your character, Terry. Have you guys found that since the beginning they are writing a lot closer to who you are as the writers have gotten to know you better? Or how do you feel about that?
Yes, for everyone. I can say that with full authority. The more the writers get to know us and the more we throw things into the mix and sort of the cross-pollinization of creative styles, it's things come back in scripts that we have said that they don't know we've said, but it just seems like us because it is us. Like, it's trippy sometimes.
But also our dressing rooms are mic'd.
Yes.
I knew it.
All right, Jordan Embry. Hey, Jordan. Question for Andy. For those of us who aspire to be multi-hyphenates, actor, producer, writer, director, do you think we should specialize in one first or approach all at once, and why?
First off, I want to add frapper to that, fake rapper.
There you go.
I would say I have no idea really how to answer that question. I think for me, I always wanted to do comedy, and I didn't really care how. So for example, I went to film school even though I wanted to perform comedy so I could write stuff for myself to act in and know it would happen. But I also would consider myself not a great director, and that's when I started working with Kevin Yorm. It got way better. And being a producer is something where, I mean, you fall into producing if you have good stuff going on, I think, more on the other side of it, unless you're someone who you're like, I'm going to be a producer, and you work your way up through producer channels. I think that's a much more specific road. But yeah, I mean, the short answer is whatever the thing you're most passionate about, the only advice I ever give to people is just do it, and do it as much as you possibly can. If you have to work a crappy job, do it when you don't have to be working that crappy job. That's what me and my buddies did. We worked at nights and we worked on weekends. We worked at work, which was not really cool, but we did it. And we wrote, and I did stand-up and shot stuff, and just do the thing you want to do, specifically that thing, as much as you possibly can, and the other stuff will sort of form around it, I think.
If I could just add something real quick, also had a similar experience like Andy with working with a group of people. I would add, find friends that you have the same sense of humor that you have, the same passions that you have. Whether if it's comedy, great. If it's making horror movies, find the people that like the same horror. So there's safety in numbers, I think, and they'll also help establish a work ethic for you, because sometimes it's easy to, or hard, I should say, to work on your own, but if you have other people there that are kind of egging you on, saying, listen, we got to get this done this weekend, let's make this short, it helps create a work ethic for you, too.
Last one from Semi Anthony. Hey. This is for Terry, but I think a lot of people could probably weigh in on this. Working in different genres, television shows, movies, can you guys pick a preference, or is it about the roles? How do you feel? Because I know a lot of you do different things.
I'll start out because I've been experimenting with other things, and hosting and doing all this stuff. And I find that I always like to try everything to see if I like it. And what's happened is I love it all. I do. Entertainment is that. For one, I get just as much satisfaction off a very, very small, dramatic thing. I remember I did a movie with Christian Bale called Harsh Times. And it was like I was in there for just a scene, and it was so satisfying. It was such a dramatic piece, but I was like, wow, this is the best feeling ever. And then when I do this show, it's the same feeling, because you're as an entertainer, my job is to please the director, the people who are putting it together, and make them happy. And when you do what your job is, and it makes you very, very satisfied. So if it's hosting for me, if it's drama, if it's comedy, I don't really have a preference. But my big thing is to be what they need, to fill that gap and be that guy. One thing about this cast is that everyone here, no one steps on each other. It's like we have our own lanes, and it's a wonderful place to be, because we can just go full speed where we are, and we never cross. And it's a beautiful thing, and we only make each other better. But that's just my thought on it. Anybody else?
I concur.
I mean, I think, it's a very, very hot topic of conversation right now. It kind of doesn't matter at this point, I think, with the way media works. For me, it's just whatever the thing I'm working on that I'm excited about and I think is funny in that moment. Chelsea, how about you? Stand-up, Twitter, or TV?
I'll take them all. Thank you.
Thank you. My point exactly.
Why choose?
Yeah. And also because everyone's watching them all on their phone anyway. Yeah.
All right. Brooklyn Nine-Nine has all new episodes this month. The season finale is in May. And good luck at the SAG Awards, guys. Thanks so much tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for coming.
Awesome.